Howdy dowdy, we are back. Oh, it didn't take long at all. So, um, let's go talk to the manager. How can I even find the hotel manager? I know where to find the cafeteria manager. When do I get to level up, I wonder? $80 out of 100. That's good.
Can I help you?
Is the trash container out back yours?
Mine? No, it belongs to the Whirling in Rags.
Thank you for clearing that up. Why do you keep the container locked?
Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out. That's why. And the neighbors too. They put their trash there and they don't pay for the garbage company.
I thought as much. And are you the only party with access to the trash container?
Well, yes. Us and the garbage disposal company.
It seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something stirs in you.
I wonder what this feeling is.
Prod at him and find out.
Doesn't it seem callous to you, guarding even your leftovers from the poor?
Callous? What are you, Kras Mazov? Almost all establishments in Revachol keep their trash locked. The Whirling in Rags is not special in that regard.
Krasmazov, nom de guerre, was an economist and a historical materialist. He was a leading figure on the Grad side of the Centennial Revolution, where he headed the 9-day government. Mazov is considered the father of scientific communism, Mazovian thought, or Mazovianism.
Tell me more.
He killed himself.
Maybe I am Krasnov.
What are we talking about? Was this not about the trash container?
No, wait. What if I am Krasnov?
We should return to the case of your mistaken identity at a later time, officer. This was about the trash container.
Well, we need those keys.
What for, Mazov? Are you planning to nationalize my trash container?
It concerns the case. Please cooperate.
Just bring them back once you're done, please.
I've seen something here at the Whirling Garta. Thing I need to talk about.
What thing?
Garta, I saw a sign that said I couldn't go into the kitchen. Why can't I go into the kitchen?
What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business.
There may be something pertinent to the investigation.
He wasn't pan-fried. He was lynched. What could the kitchen possibly have to do with... Fine, okay. The kitchen is closed until 1 p.m. because the cook is working. You can snoop around after that, if you must.
I saw a sign that said the mess hall is reserved for the union.
Yes, not the whole damn union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction.
He tosses his head in disdain.
They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big shit. But they're good customers. They place big orders and always pay on time.
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info.
How do we find them?
We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get hungry, even striking men. If not today, then they'll be here tomorrow.
There are these things called days. You sleep between them. He's saying they'll come after you've slept. Just making clear you got that.
There's something else I want to ask about.
What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything interesting in the whirling later.
So about the money I owe.
Yes, have you got it?
How much do I owe you again?
A lot. A lot. For the room, drinks, and broken window, 130 real.
Okay, let's talk about something else.
Like what? I was rarely enjoying talking about the money you owe me.
Bye. Maybe now we can question our neighbor again.
The door is closed. There is no answer. You hear the shower being turned on somewhere inside. Still no answer. Still nothing. The lieutenant gives you a quick glance. This door can only be opened with a key or from the inside.
All right. So I think I'm going to attempt to cut down the body now. Even though I 100% am going to fail that check. Talk to the old lady again.
Hello again, sweetie.
Sweetie needs money. Do sweeties get money?
Oh, sweetie, I heard your conversation with the manager about your financial troubles. When do you get your next paycheck?
What is a paycheck? I haven't seen any paychecks.
You must be joking. Although our pay does sometimes feel like a joke.
It's not easy to assert your right to a decent living wage when you don't have a strong union behind you. Maybe you should talk to Everard, the union leader.
Interesting idea. This Everard sounds powerful. Maybe you can wrangle some coins out of his pocket.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry I don't have money for you. If there's anything else I can do for you, just ask.
Gotta get going now. So I can get back into the kitchen at 1 p.m. It's almost noon. It's like 11:30. It appears that my quest, the body, is not going to be complete until I have actually attempted to suppress the urge to vomit. So we're going to give it a go.
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell, emitting it. The smell is repulsive. It pushes in from your mouth, more instant and more familiar than anything you expected, more fever than odor. It fills your mind, flushing you from within.
Let it out.
You feel a great force ringing from your stomach. Your body curls and pushes it out, burst by burst, until a pool of vomit lies under your feet and your throat stings from the stomach acid. The smell of Commodore Red rises from the pool. Among it, distilled spirit and bits of shish kebab.
Fucking corpse.
Keep it.
Lieutenant hands you a blue checkered handkerchief. Thanks.
The hangover is clearly making these worse for you. You could use some ammonia to clear your head.
You'd think ammonia would help.
If you can handle the headache. Some officers use it to deal with cadaverine odor.
But not you.
I can't handle the headache.
It's more likely he can handle the smell, unlike you.
Okay, where do we get ammonia from?
That young woman, the gardener, mentioned she used salts for the smell. If she doesn't have any, there might be some in the fridge store nearby.
Acquiring ammonia will provide a modifier to the white check. Modifiers make checks easier and allow you to retry them.
Oh, I think I have ammonia. Do I not? Oh, well, let's just go talk to the gardener. I might get some free ammonia out of it.
It's raining again. It was clear just an hour ago.
You still have your salt? I think I could use some.
Sure, I'm done with them.
You know, I think I have magnesium, not ammonia.
Go easy on that stuff. It gave me a terrible headache.
To run. All right.
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell. Emitting it is all it does now.
I'm still not gonna succeed at this check. I mean, I have a almost 1 in 10 chance. I don't know. Let me check my journal. It's weird. There we go. I just going to continually throw up until I can do it? Let's see what happens. Maybe we could just get
There
him to
he
do
still
it.
is, looking right through you. You crack open the ammonia ampoule and breathe in. The odor of death is still stronger. It's a spell of the mind telling you to run, and your stomach to wring itself empty. With your eyes squinting, you stand in it. It's a puzzle. What's hanging in front of you is a puzzle of decaying flesh, tattoos, and tendons.
They always do that.
They do after 7 days, yes. We are deep in decomposition here.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and enamel boots. His skin is greenish, marbled with decaying veins and blotched by lividity. A fading web of tattoos covers his chest and shoulders. The cargo belt used to fasten him to the branch above appears industrial in strength.
Let's look at the boots first.
The material appears to be ceramic. Its clean white stands in stark contrast to the decaying flesh above the knee. The man wore thick polymer socks, probably for padding. A fine array of interlocking plates covers them. Delicate and fragile, they feel alien to the world around you, out of place somehow. These are clearly not boots. They're armor, possibly part of a larger set.
These aren't just boots, are they? They're armor.
Indeed. Technically speaking, these are sabatons, not boots.
What kind of armor is that?
Ceramic plate. Zirconium dioxide, most likely. This is where the make would be.
Where?
Under the heel. Fair weather. Fair weather model T500 VE. I'm guessing that's vitreous enamel. This is advanced stuff.
Material looks out of place here.
It is. It's expensive.
The lieutenant draws a line on the condensation in the ceramic with his index finger.
We've requested similar material for our tactical units for years now. The constabularies deemed it too costly. In that time, we've lost 6 men to semi-automatics.
How much are we talking about?
For a full set, about 4 years of wages.
For the northwest region of Revachol, an officer's average yearly income is 5,500 real, unadjusted for rank.
Wait, my yearly pay is 5,500 real?
Not too much, yes.
Sounds puny. No wonder I can't pay my hostel bill.
It's a sorry situation, I agree.
How could this man afford such expensive hardware?
That's for us to find out. Mr. Gart implied he was security personnel for the harbor company. This confirms my own assumptions.
Initial report.
Just something I scraped together from my station. An area report on Martinez. I'm sure you did the same.
This looked pretty advanced for a security guard.
I agree. This equipment is way beyond what a guard can afford.
So what happened to the rest of it?
The locals probably scavenged it. It would be odd if he had more on after 7 days. We should keep a lookout for these pieces. The armor could yield information. Maybe he'll know something.
Understood.
The sabatons dangle off the man's decaying form, ageless and synthetic.
Gonna try and pull them off.
The stench fills your nostrils. As you push downward, an ominous creaking sound comes from above.
Stop!
Lieutenant's voice is sharp. He looks at you with the boot under your arm.
Pig's gonna pull his head off.
Brutal!
Oh, this is a bad idea, isn't it?
You're going to pull his head off.
Do it, homo!
I'm gonna pull his head off, right?
Yes, that's what I said. You'll compromise the coroner's case if you do. So please, don't.
Indeed, from this angle, it does look like the neck isn't going to take much more. Being dead for a week has all but liquefied his muscles.
What are you trying to achieve anyway? Why are you hanging on to that boot?
Are we not detectives? There may be clues inside the boot.
Maybe we should concentrate on what's outside the boot and leave what's inside to the boys at processing? Just this once. Besides, there's no way you're getting them off. All the organic matter in his body has been flowing down into the boots. They are fused to his feet now. Why do you think the locals haven't scavenged them yet?
You're sure there's a way to peel them off, but first the body needs to be down. And second, it would probably be better if the lieutenant wasn't around.
Sounds like a plan.
The anticipation makes you crack your fingers. Feels nice. Nice and cracky.
Okay, got it.
Processing will take care of them. With the situation in the morgue, it will yield nothing. But we must pick our fights. Should we continue?
Let's knock on the boot.
A small bell-like sound fills the air, like tapping on the side of a porcelain cup.
Sounds fragile.
It's anything but. This material is a kinetic redistributor. It spreads kinetic energy horizontally, from plate to plate, dissipating it entirely. See?
Faint, organic lines cover the plates where they separate into smaller ones. These plates then divide into smaller plates until there are hundreds of them altogether. Like whirls of floorboards, the design looks organic, influenced by highly resistant wood materials, like lignum vitae and ebony perhaps.
What does this remind me of?
If trees were made of porcelain, this is what their cross-sections would look like. The smooth, glossy surface fractures into ever more intricate interconnections, peaking on the right sabaton, where you notice. The whorls are in the shape of a letter and number combination, E50, 100, 1000.
Looks like there's a serial number.
Good. Can you read it to me?
X5415 6745 678222. Let's lie.
Why would I do that?
We have a make and a number. That's something. We can use the radio in my kinema when we're done. Either station can chase it for us.
Ah, it was his car.
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in tattoos, and extremities blotched pink and blue.
I'm gonna go for inspect the tattoos.
An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time they intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. Their concentration is highest around his heart.
Is this a microelectronic system?
I have only a cursive knowledge of the science of cybernetics. I would not know if it were. But it's not quite complex enough, is it?
It doesn't seem familiar from the insides of any radio computer your mind can imagine. The somewhat organic lines remind you of old filament memory units, but not quite. No, you're nowhere near right.
I'm missing something.
So am I.
He wears a wide leather belt around his waist and a gun holster under his arm. He takes a thin piece of milled aluminium from his coat pocket and pulls it open. Sounds like a sword being unsheathed. A small lens appears. Some sort of camera.
What's that?
A Trigger Sunshine. Mini.
Triggered is the world's leading manufacturer of intercommunication devices, primarily projectors. The camera before you looks familiar somehow.
An instant color camera.
He produces two metal-capped ampules and clicks them into place on the side of the apparatus. A thin slot shines there.
I have only 2 ampoules, so nobody move. I don't want to waste one.
He points the camera at the corpse, peering into it. The lens needs adjusting. Then
A sound, a shrill flash, followed by the breaking of a small ampoule of glass. You see streams of color pour onto the thick, glossy piece of paper, rolling out.
In case we need it.
Lieutenant says and shakes the paper, letting it dry in the cold wind. On it, a color-perfect copy of the dead man's tattooed chest. Cool machine.
Yes, it is pretty cool, isn't it?
There is only one ampoule left. Use it wisely.
What do we need this photo for?
It contains insight to the victim's person. By his build, I'd say this was a man of physical violence. The story he wanted his body to tell was important to him. It is his letter to us. Someone should decipher it. We'll need to show it around.
Can I have it? I should look at it later without the corpse smell.
Sure. Just don't lose it.
It's no larger than a pack of cigarettes.
The glossy-eyed corpse looks by, his mouth mute and his skin as colorful as the chemical rainbow on the photo paper, teeming with opportunistic organisms.
You've acquired an interactable item. Investigate this item further by going to the Interact tab in your inventory.
Let me take a look at the belt.
The hangman's knot is pulled tight by the weight of the corpse below. Yellow, hard-edged polyester cuts into his neck. Above, a sliding buckle ties the belt to the branch. This is a steel-reinforced cargo lashing belt, big brother of the regular cargo belt. It's used for tying cargo under 6-rotor airships.
Don't ask me how I know, but this is a lashing belt used for airlifting cargo.
Airlifting? I thought it was used on lorries for strapping cargo to them.
Apparently this is the reinforced kind. For air transport. My brain tells me so.
The local harbor uses 6 rotors to shuffle containers around. I get the sense they use whatever was on hand without paying much attention to not incriminating themselves.
They sure wanted him to stay up there. The rope is reinforced with steel wiring.
I was afraid it would be. Thin steel wiring, parallel strands. This makes getting him down more problematic than I had assumed.
We're assuming dock workers from the harbor did it?
The brief suggested as much, politically motivated by the ongoing strike. Did you not get a briefing?
Yeah.
Then you should ask me the first moment we get.
How did they even get him up there?
A noose is one of those things that's easier to use one way around.
He points to the buckle tying the belt to the branch above. Do they climb up using the kid's ladder?
That ladder can't carry a grown man. I didn't see any splintering either, did you? I think they lassoed the branch, then pulled on the belt to close the buckle.
Could be. The shape of the branch supports the theory.
I'm gonna back off and look at
The cadaver
corpse.
hangs from the cargo belt, limbs limp and torso covered in tattoos. His eyes are milky white and blind to the world, protruding comically from their sockets. There is no one home, just subaquatic terrors there. Dark brown hair grows on his head. His face is ready to explode from the organic processes inside. The death's head grin has passed. What remains is an unrecognizable mess.
Tell me, who are you, dead man?
I'm gone.
I can see you're gone, but who are you?
I'm a joke. Look at me.
There's nothing funny about you?
There is nothing funny about jokes either.
Who were you when you were alive?
A killer. A motherfucker. And a killer.
I have another question for you.
Go ahead, Cobbo.
Where have you gone?
Into the wild pale yonder.
There's that.
In the past. Way out in the west.
What is happening?
What do you mean?
I'm talking to you.
It's the power of your
Black, frothy liquid starts bubbling on his lips.
imagination. Go ahead. Ask me more questions. You fucking love questions.
Why do I love questions so much?
Because you're a copperoony. Look at all of them go. Do you want more questions?
Give me a comical amount of questions.
Coming right up, copperoony Rooney. This is getting upbeat now.
Who killed you?
Love did me in, Brother Copo. It was love all along.
Why do I feel like I've forgotten something terrible?
Because you have.
Can you ask me a question?
Sure, Lobo. I can ask you a question. Why are you doing this?
What?
Looking at my face, motionless. Looking into my eyes. Standing here. Why are you investigating my murder?
Maybe this will lead to something. Something indescribable, unforeseen, miraculous. The clown lips on the corpse appear to smile. Face rotates before you slowly.
Something is on its way. Something hidden. It's coming. A miracle from the northwest, and it's almost here. You can feel it in the air, on your hands. The cold spring air smoothing them over.
Is my name Rooney?
Fuck no. You're no Rooney.
Rooney is obviously not who I am.
Between you and me, your name is probably Harry.
No, it can't be Harry. I refuse.
Good for you.
I hate you. You stink and you're boring.
Do I remind you of someone?
A child born with Muller's disease, harlequinism, grown up miraculously.
A baby affected with harlequinism.
You sure wriggled out of that one? Coppellini.
Enough.
Come back later, Coppo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
Squint and take a step back.
As you narrow your eyes, the monster before you blurs into a violent mess of green and pink. This is a trick. You've done it before. Pink is where the blood settled in the first hours post-mortem. You can use it to see if the corpse has been tampered with. Does his position at the time of death match the discoloration? Only the lower extremities are pink with a dash of blue. His fatted hands, thighs, and his neck, just above the noose. The rest of the corpse appears dark green in the cold spring air.
His face and hands are pink, thighs too.
I see it. His neck too. The lividity goes right up his chin. We have good, well-pronounced discoloration here.
The monster comes back into focus, an explosion of color, coursing with dark marbled veins. His stomach appears pregnant with something. Black liquid streams down his thigh and onto his boot.
So, what do you think?
I think he was upright after death. His hands, feet, and neck are discolored.
Agreed, especially on the neck. The belt acted like a tourniquet, keeping the blood in his head. The hypostasis supports her hanging.
You would still like the hypostasis marks in the neck to be a bit more pronounced.
For some reason, my brain would like the pink to be more pronounced, especially in the neck.
Maybe it looks faint to you? It could be more pronounced, actually. Dumont noté.
Maybe he was strangled by someone?
Yes, there's always a chance we are wrong. We should check for ligament marks on his neck to see if they're in tune with the belt. We'll have to get him down first.
Something's coming out of him.
A pool of blood and feces has eaten into the frozen mud below the man's feet. Purge liquid is dripping into it, drop by drop.
The victim appears to have contained no more than half a kilogram of digestion at the time of death.
The fuck he's saying?
Talking about shit.
We got lucky.
Did we? I don't feel lucky.
He's beaten up. See the bruises?
I do. Most of them are post-mortem. Maybe even all of them. The delinquents have made our jobs harder with their little sport.
Stop talking in riddles, coin slot.
He means you fucked him up good, Kuno. Fucked him up brutal-like.
I think he's dead.
I agree.
His personality is no longer a part of the world.
Totally dead.
The world no longer stores his personality and its composition. There was a time for that, and it ended 7 days ago.
That sounds about right, yes.
But there is no breath to catch. Only the cadaver filling the air and your nostrils. He slowly rotates before you, decomposing.
So, how do we get him down?
Are you sure we finished the preliminary examination of the cadaver? We might miss some of these things once he's done.
Let's have another
The
look.
cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in tattoos, and extremities blotched pink and blue.
Something I need to know, Corpse Man.
Of course. You have questions, don't you? The power of your imagination is at your service. Come back later, Corpo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features.
The steel-reinforced belt presents a unique challenge. I brought chain cutters, but I don't see a good angle of approach to the belt.
He doesn't actually think the challenge is unique. He thinks it's frustrating, annoying, and harder than he thought.
The cadaver is a good 1.2 meters up. Neither one of us can reach the belt without assistance. And even if we do, there's the question of cutting the airship strength material.
Can't someone else do it?
Someone else? You mean like the police?
What was that about processing, then? Weren't they supposed to take care of the boots Why don't they help?
Can't the boys from processing take care of it?
No.
Why?
Think of the boys from processing as murderers. Only instead of people, they murder crime scenes. Processing is a wrecking crew. They know how to commission off items and how to work the incinerator in the morgue. I know it's hard, but I assure you, the others won't come to help us. And we have a growing sanitary concern here. We need to get him down, fast.
Maybe we could shoot him down.
Yeah! Bang bang time, pig! Shoot his head off!
How?
Where the buckle ties the rope to the branch. That's a good spot to aim.
There. The buckle holds the belt together.
Where? Ah, yes, I see. If the shot hits that, there might be a chance to release the belt.
Yeah, now we're talking. Entertain a Kuno with some shit.
They'll miss! The pigs will miss Kuno!
Let me try.
The lieutenant's brow is furrowed. He appears too deep in concentration to even notice what you said.
I'm going to say nothing.
Silence. With his elbow sharp, the lieutenant unzips his jacket and produces a lightweight firearm. He drops a paper cartridge in the barrel, separates the scouring stick, and gives the cartridge 5 tucks, securing it in place. That's a Kiel A9090 Armistice, mass-produced muzzleloader, ascetic, frugal, one of the most common firearms in the world. He then steps back and assumes the fellow's test position, taking aim. The corner of his eye twitches. His finger is on the trigger.
Gotta say nothing.
He's gonna fucking miss!
The kid's voice is drowned in a shrill blast that echoes off the walls of the surrounding tenements. A cloud of smoke slowly parts in the air as the lieutenant steps back and says to himself,
God damn it.
a lot of things were wrong with that shot. The fellow's test was the wrong choice. His shoulders are raised, but above all, he cannot trust his eyesight.
Fucking idiot! Muckabah asshole!
Kuno could have hit it easy, but then Kuno's not fucking handicapped, is he?
But now,
I have to say, it's beginning to look unlikely we can get him down without assistance.
You know, you don't feel like too bad of a shot yourself.
I could try to shoot him down myself.
It's bad as it is, us shooting firearms like punks here. Go ahead, I'm not stopping you. Just don't hit the victim.
Gonna need your gun for this.
They only have one gun!
Oops.
This is the sorriest pair of pigs Kuno's ever seen.
Officer, why do we only have one gun?
Remember when I told you I didn't have my badge or uniform with me when I woke up? I didn't have my gun either.
That is even more unfortunate than the badge. You need to contact your station about it as soon as possible. Try not to lose this one, please.
Yeah, take it, you fucking banana pointer! Take it and shoot yourself in the mouth!
Gonna feel the weight first.
The cold piece of bakelite and gunmetal is surprisingly light. Your fingers fit right through the guard, instinctively resting on the trigger. You've held this, an A9 Armistice, before. At some point, it probably used to be your choice of firearm. It still feels comfortable, like you never laid it down.
The fuck are you waiting for, Kuno? Tell him to shoot himself in the mouth!
The buckle comes into focus in your sights. You stand with your feet planted firmly in the ground and your left hand supporting your gun arm.
Why don't you just shoot yourself in your mouth? At least you won't miss.
I'm gonna say shut up.
Or what? You gonna fuck me? You wanna fuck me, pig? Is that what this is about?
I'm gonna close my left eye first. I don't know if that'll help.
Your field of view narrows. The branch slowly moves, becoming entirely two-dimensional. The metal buckle glimmers, catching the noon light as the corpse slowly rotates. The slow movement of the branch in the wind and your shoulders directing the gun sink up, dancing hypnotically.
Look, he's crying. You gonna cry now, fucking faggoty?
I've got 58% chance. That's not bad. Let's give it a shot. Ooh. That
A
was
plume of
good.
smoke erupts from the barrel. Your hand goes numb from the explosion. With your ears still ringing, you lower the weapon to see what happened. You missed the belt, but hit the corpse straight in the chest. Bits of ribcage protrude from the skin. No blood, only a murky sludge dripping down his belly. The sudden stink makes your eyes water.
Oh my god, he's gonna fucking cry. I knew it. What a mulko.
Ask for another shot. You'll get it with the next one. The goddamn light reflected off some window. Surely.
Reload it, please. I need another shot.
The cadaver is already compromised bad enough. We don't have to make it worse.
It came out wrong. You made it sound like you're some sort of roulette addict looking for a fix. Ask again. More control this time.
Please, kid.
There.
Vittupa wants to fuck up again bad.
Mulku, Vitupa. What is that? What the hell kind of words are these?
The song of my people, asshole.
Don't provoke her.
Lieutenant takes his sidearm from you, then holsters it.
Shot him in the chest. What a fucking idiot.
It's not the gun's fault you can't shoot. It's your pig hands.
Pigs don't have hands. They have, like, fucking hooves or something.
Kuno has hands. Kuno can shoot that shit down for you.
No, Kuno. If I can't shoot him down, no one will.
Cop's bitter because he fucked that corpse up, Kuno. What a fucking kurpiller.
We still need to get him down somehow.
His tone is growing tired now. The stench makes him turn away from the corpse. But how?
The bad way. The way I didn't want us to. By asking the harbor for help. They have the tools and the men. If they put him up there, they can take him down too.
But how do we get inside the harbor?
From the gates, by negotiating or fighting. I'm unenthusiastic about fighting. Or we can try to find some secret third path. It's unlikely though.
To the gates. Let's negotiate.
Won't it be dangerous?
To ask the suspect for help with the victim's body? To be indebted to Evrard Clare? Very much, yes. Which is why I would have preferred us to handle this ourselves. Clearly we can't.
Suck my dick, bitches.
What's wrong with being indebted to Evrard Clare?
He's a dangerous and corrupt man, and we cannot predict what he will want from us in return.
Yeah? Don't go being someone else's bitches. You're Kuno's bitches.
Let's get to it then.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and white boots. His
Yes?
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, whirling in rags. With a well-oiled crack, the lock pops open. It should now be possible to simply raise the lid. Don't. Maybe you shouldn't. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
We're just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
I'm going to pick at the rags.
Among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of denim trousers.
Let's grab one.
As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air.
The victim's clothes? Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay. Drop them in here, officer.
The lieutenant produces a black plastic bag marked evidence in his pocket.
Guitar marked blue jeans. Pockets empty or empty. He wore them with a belt, too, a white belt. The loops appear stretched, but
He looks into the container.
the belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there? I have another bag here.
Something slimy catches your eye.
All right, let's take a look.
A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus.
This is a military-type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of rib-knit shirt that's worn over light armor to conceal it in an urban scenario. Anything more?
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. A yellow old mug that catches your eye. But other than that,
Thrown out towel, a mug, that's all.
All right. We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one. I'd advise against confronting that force.
You think someone from the whirling might have been involved, maybe?
Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash. The lid was locked, and this establishment had the key. It's just a small loose thread.
Yeah, we need to ask the kids who put them there.
The fuck's he on about? Kids? You hear that, Kuno? He thinks you're an infant or something.
See?
Okay.
the lieutenant nods, then looks back into the trash container.
The mug. I'm getting that mug too.
You pick out a broken mug with an oddly racist depiction of the yellow man frolicking in saffron.
An antique?
Only in its social sensibility.
Let's look under the boxes.
You see milk and egg rest with one broken egg in it. Some pasta wrapper. Picking up the soggy packages somehow feels familiar. You've done this before. The movements are recorded in your elbows, the methodology in your fingers. You're used to this.
Used to what? Dumpster diving?
No, searching for evidence in the trash. A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages below, and turbo noodles. Nothing of note, however.
Search the food waste.
It's just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato peels, mostly. Unidentified sludge, and the occasional chicken bone thrown in for good measure. But hey, what's this?
What?
A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like the corner of something. Something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes, written in a man's handwriting.
Officer, is that your paperwork?
I don't know what this is.
It is. Look, the plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form in there.
A miserable-looking slip of paper sticks to the board.
If you don't mind me asking, how did this get in the trash?
It has a foreboding quality to it. Maybe I needed to lose it for the great bloodletting to begin.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
I don't know either. You should take stock of your notes. Make sure it's all there. Official notes contain informants' names. If some have fallen into the hands of the RCM's adversaries, bloodletting may well ensue.
Okay, I'll do that.
It would also not hurt to start taking notes on the case. Now, tell me what your eagle eyes see. Or are we finished?
Some items, such as the ledger you found, are interactable. Go to your inventory and select the Interact tab to read your paperwork.
The container sounds a muffled gong.
That's one thing off the list. I think we got it all.
This broken-eared mug somehow made its way into the Whirling in Rags dumpster. It depicts a person of Samaran descent, frolicking in a field of saffron flowers, buck-toothed and grinning feeble-mindedly. It seems to be a cheap knockoff of some colonial-era antique.
It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much.
There's quite a lot to read into here, actually. Look at all that content.
Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed-away mug that you dug out of the garbage?
This mug will be useful. By announcing it, I can earn political capital to mask my badass hustling.
If you want to earn some change by guilting people, go for it. But if you want to earn real dough, finish the case and start getting paid again.
The ledger you found in the trash. It's full of notes written in a man's dense cursive. Have a closer look. Maybe it can be salvaged to start keeping notes on the case.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
Anything else?
There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's toilet paper, desperately sticking to the back of the blue plastic clipboard. It's a metaphor for you. Thank you, waterlogged ledger, for spelling it out for us.
Let's look at the white papers.
They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol, and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered, with faint red lines forming short paragraphs. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files, commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
What's in here?
Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to missing pages and an odd naming convention. But there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases undertaken, not completed, mind you. It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week on average. What do you mean? Is that all?
Is that it?
The notebook is annual. It says 51 on what remains of its cover. A molten strap of cardboard. Everything prior to this must have belonged to a previous volume. In short, there was more.
Is 2 cases a week a good caseload, Lieutenant?
Huh? 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes.
2 cases a week appears to have been my load, Lieutenant. I'm not sure I completed them, though.
2? That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you are making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me.
I'm sure I made plenty of mistakes.
It's okay. We all make mistakes.
Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
There was mention of a naming convention here?
Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet, still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name. A title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from snoop fiction and vespertine cop show staples.
Oh my, and they're written in capital letters too.
Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case. Others appear more light-hearted. The guys on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder at the hookah parlor. Even the rare article-free collapsing tenement. Murder features prominently throughout. It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close.
Kim, my cases appear to employ some kind of naming convention.
You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene?
No, I mean a non-numeric one with titles.
Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. In our defense, almost everyone in the RCM does.
Why is that?
It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves.
I seem to have named a case The Square Bullet Hole Murders.
Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one The Man with the Hole in His Head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself. I pray his loved ones never find out. Rail spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident.
To open an official case, is there room?
There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish. Once all the tasks are accomplished, the case is complete.
Well, let's do it.
Sadly, the ledger only comes with an old, worn-down lead pencil. It's unfitting of this monumental event. The ledger only comes with an old, worn-down lead pencil. It will do, barely. But
Weird way to spell lead pencil. Kim, do you have a pen?
the lieutenant looks at his blue notebook. 2 fat, shiny pens hang from the binder. like large caliber bullets on an ammo belt. He is not really saying anything, just standing there, looking at them.
Can I have one?
Know that I give this to you with resentment.
With this beauty?
The tasks you've completed flow out of the blue oblong pen in a brash freehand uncannily similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple, a language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect the victim's body. Get the body down. Interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place. A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you, and you. You're a swashbuckler with that pen, Harry, and it feels good. Feels like completion. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. Now all that remains is to name the case.
Lieutenant, have you by any chance named our case?
No, actually. Any ideas?
The Hanged Man.
Great. That's great. That's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now. I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
Done inspecting these.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now.
Can I read the case files now?
Yes, you can piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB 41, then date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For example, HDB 41120111700, the next world mural.
Wait, HDB 41. Weren't these officer precinct?
Why, yes, your precinct number is 41.
And HDB.
Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it. And these are your case files. It's safe to say HDB are your initials.
I don't know what to say to that.
I got nothing here either. Logic really isn't the best faculty to have this conversation with, but it's the one you got. So sorry.
How long does it take to read a case?
It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Where do you want to start?
I can revisit this.
Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard.
I'm gonna look at the yellow papers.
In the back, you see thin, translucent copy of paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled out. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out, according to type of form.
What type of forms are there?
3. The topmost are misconduct fines. The middle ones are station calls. And the bottommost are field autopsy forms. Each is easy enough to make sense of. You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work.
Let's do a field autopsy.
A dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceased human form waiting to be filled in. Age, sex, condition of internal organs.
What about the station calls?
These are quite sinister in turn. They give a date and time for the person to appear at the specified precinct police station. Below the call are the criminal charges you risk by not appearing. All in a print so small it could be considered downright cute.
And misconduct?
A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. Severe cases allow for 1,000 real, but that requires special paperwork. The details of issuing these fines are spread out over the rest of the fields, but they appear pleasantly vague.
So, I could ticket somebody maybe and get some money to pay off my debt?
Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to people. Fines for wrongdoers, interview requests for bad guys, and field autopsies to dead guys. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the paperwork must have spared the fragile copier paper.
Let's look at the toilet paper.
It's just toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you want. Still wet, the toilet paper peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off with your finger and voila! The ledger now looks marginally better.
Let's look at the clipboard.
It's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size board feels thick and heavy in your hand. Light shimmers on its wet surface. On the back, you see the embossed letters, RCM.
Let's shake it.
Something rattles inside, ever so lightly. Is there a hidden compartment? And something small inside, light, made of paper or cardboard, or dried flowers perhaps. Permeables. It's not hidden per se. The compartment is made for permeable materials that would get damaged if something happened to it. The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it is not see-through. You cannot see to its center.
How would I open it?
With your hands, U4-sized pages hang from the clip screwed to the top of the board.
Let's look at the clip.
An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip. The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know how you didn't notice it before. Looks like an official mark, made to be low visibility outside the right circumstances. It is similar to the RCM watermark on your blazer the lieutenant mentioned. Didn't he say something about the headlights of his motor carriage? That you can read these there?
Lieutenant, is this one of those hologram watermarks you mentioned?
What? Yes, halogen watermark used for adding information to RCM property.
Interesting. What kind of information?
It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue.
Maybe yours will have how many cases you've solved.
How can I read it?
Any capable light with the right wavelength will do.
Before you mentioned the headlights of your vehicle?
Yes, RCM vehicles have headlights tuned especially to reveal halogen watermarks.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand, it's a sorry sight.
Smell the ledger.
The acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner. You know, like the bits they put into public piss bowls, probably called Fermi Discrete, or Axle, or something. At some point in its journey, the ledger has seen the inside of a public toilet.
Which toilet would that be?
Remember when I said the smell of the upstairs bathroom was so rank they should have sent a poet to describe it?
is sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner a line this poet might have used?
Why, yes, it is. Among many other things. This cleaning tablet is used by the whirling in rags. Perhaps that's where the ledger was dropped in the toilet. By you.
I'm going to investigate the inside of that secret compartment. I'm going to wait until I'm inside. I don't figure it's going to make a difference, but just in case. He did say it was for water-soluble materials, and it was snowing outside. Alright, we're going to check that out, and then I think that's going to be it for now.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer inside. It's barely held together by a clip, then made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner. The two sides of the board appear slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off its slides. If you bend the plastic on your knee slowly, the slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just, you know.
Alright, let's do it.
Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open. 2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
Let's pick up the ticket stubs.
2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there, too.
Look at the card.
Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue.
I guess I'll smell it.
It smells of chewing gum, apricot flavored. A touch of cinnamon, the end of summer. You think the label says tutti frutti. Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped, round letters in a woman's hand. A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile, you think. Although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy. Your hand shakes, holding the card. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest, down Voyager Road. Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you. You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always, always, always come back to it. Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. Small white dots appear. Sparks fall like snow from the bow collector. A streetcar distancing. You feel the ledger slip from your hand. No, hold on.
going to hold on.
To what? There's nothing.
Detective, is everything all right?
Well, that was certainly unexpected. Ooh.
There is nothing.
Oh, am I starting over?
Again.
Gonna lie there.
Well, almost nothing. There is the ground below you. That's still there. And the small light that's on, fluttering, somewhere in the basal ganglia.
Who's that?
That's me. Blue eyes, that's me.
And who was that?
Who was what?
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion. Even in the darkness, he's grasping for it. Still trying to hold on to the great sorrows slipping in the water. Slimy.
No, I was cool. I'm cool.
The cool when you're dead, brother.
Here in the paleo-mammalian cortex, we call it the shadow. Because it's always there.
Tell him. Tell him.
Ah, yes. In the olfactory system, they call it the apricot chewing gum scented one. It's unhealthy of them to linger on it so. But as they say, what do you do?
Smelled so nice.
It didn't smell nice. It smelled like betrayal.
Where is Voyager Road?
There is no Voyager Road. There are no roads, no houses, no lights in the windows. It's all on pause.
There's something about a boat collector, too?
Yeah, man. What was that about?
Is that the X something?
Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing.
No, it was beautiful.
Beautiful. Believe me, stupid ape. Its lack of beauty was not the problem.
Enough. Just lie there motionless.
You think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into biomolecules? No. Someone is breathing on your face now, inspecting your pupils, stupid idiot.
What is that? It's cold.
Yes, they're pouring something on you. It's in you. And
It's delicious. Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness. In the upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket, the air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fuel oil. Cold water runs down your chin.
Drink. Water.
The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself as it pours down your parched throat. The pounding in your head recedes. The darkness parts.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need a secondary form of hydration.
With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills on the driver's seat. The lieutenant pays no heed to it.
What happened?
I should ask you this. Ow! Ah! Nah. I should ask you the same.
You were reading your paperwork. Then you passed out. I carried you to my kinema to take you to a hospital. Then you came to.
How long was I out?
10 minutes, maybe.
I came in contact with the burnt-out ruins of the past, Lieutenant.
That does sometimes happen.
He hands you the remains of your ledger.
He replies with such understanding, it's as if the burnt-out ruins of the past were an occupational hazard. Athlete's foot for cops.
You dropped these. Are you okay to proceed?
Let's solve this case.
Good.
The Ledger of Failure and Hatred is a special item that can be used both as an interactable and a tool equipped in your held slot for skill bonuses. Find it under the Tools tab in your inventory.
I have 2 skill points to spend. I really think that I should maybe spend one in volition so I don't keep almost passing out from shame. Yeah, I really think I have to do that. That is what a volition does, right? Yeah. I don't know about my other level at the moment. I'm doing pretty well in basically all of my intellect skills. I kind of would like a little bit more interfacing. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do one more interfacing. The same ledger you found in the trash, only worse somehow. It makes you think about the letter that the woman's handwriting about not wanting to get out of bed in the morning. What does it do? We're gonna save it. I think this is gonna be it for now. We'll pick up, if not later tonight, we will maybe do a little bit tomorrow, later in the weekend. I'm not quite sure. We'll have to see. If it's tomorrow, it'll probably be later in the day, like after dark. Same thing on Sunday. Ciao, Bella.